So welcome aboard, and thank you for your time and thank you for your participation in this. It means a lot to me personally, so I really, really appreciate you coming along. I just want to get some key messages out. As in today's kickoff is, of course, we'll touch upon activities and things like that, but it's really getting some of the key principles, getting an alignment on that front. And it's very flat. It's very, very flat. You're both at the top and the bottom. And we cannot be anything else. If as leaders, individual leaders, we are going to make a difference, we have to lead, and leadership is at every level. And because we are working with flat structures, you don't have a hierarchy. That's good news, isn't it? Don't do anything that is not something that you enjoy. And this is very important. It's in the chats that we had, it's good enough you guys are willing to give 4 hours of your time, but just make sure that this is working for you. Let's not do anything that is suffocating, boring. That's not what we're here for. Just make sure that you're getting the most out of this journey as well, please. And let's fail together. We've not worked it all out, as in we've been on it for 5 years. There are still rough edges. We think we have a good model. And what has worked throughout these 5 years is an inspect and adapt approach. We will make mistakes, we will fail, but we will move forward. I think that's the important bit. And that's what the journey is going to be all about. And let's mesh it up. And again, it's not a typo. At the moment, all of you are connected through me, which is great for me because I can connect with each of you and have conversations. But it's not a scalable model at all. And what I think we need to move to is a model where we are all connecting with each other. And in fact, so much so that I'm not even the hub and I disappear from the scene, if that makes sense. So I'm as much a trailblazer as everyone else on the call. So let's get those conversations going. Let's get that networking going. And we used a term in the past, and we've used it a few times. It's shameless networking here. You won't be looked down upon for reaching out with a friend request. It's just the way it is. That's how we're going to work together. Let's make sure that we know each other and we build relationships beyond just work. And if you are still, maybe today you have joined in from your desktops, but Discord is far better on the mobile. So I would encourage you to download the mobile app. It's the most flexible way to work, given a lot of you wanted that flexibility and you said, happy to give my 4 hours, but it really has to be where, as and when I can fit it. And you will achieve that really from the mobile app. It's wonderful, although we've had teething issues today. It is something which I would strongly recommend. Of course, the desktop gives you that screen space, so switch over when you're doing a lot of detailed work. And a lot of you have put your profile pictures up, so thank you for that. But if you're still sitting with a game controller, I know you look far better than that. So do take a moment to upload your profile pictures and also a short bio. If you provide that information, it just enables others to know you a little bit and then connect with you. Choose your style, whatever works for you, but please do take a moment to put something in the bio. And where's your wallet? I was expecting Anusha today, who I spoke to yesterday. She's based in Dubai, and she actually trailblazed on the wallet itself. She went and created the lobster wallet as per the guidelines of information, I guess, in the onboarding area. Do take a moment. It's pretty straightforward, as in she's not even a technology geek, and she had absolutely no issues. Go through the process. You will get a G public key. For the Circle 1 members who have now become Trailblazers, you already have wallets, so you don't need to do it. Just use your private key to register it. And we will get the SOS going. But do take a moment today or over the weekend to download that app. That's how those rewards will come into your wallet. Yeah, we did some great transactions yesterday as well, so that's really good. If you do get stuck, let me know. We can help you out. And one request: if you can do a bit of a screen recording of the steps that you had to take in order to create the wallet, do make sure that your private key, which please keep it very secure, because that's the only way you will have access. If you lose it, that's it. You can't do anything with the wallet. And anything that you've accumulated is essentially gone and no one can help. So do take a moment to save it in a secure place. But when you record it, just make sure your private key is not displayed. If you can share that, then we will upload it on the onboarding channel, and it will help everyone else. And some of you have onboarded into the Clockify pilot. It's a pilot we are running just to see how whether Clockify is a tool for us. All of you are going to put time towards different activities. There is no formal structure here, but I think it's a great tool to look at. If you record and longer term, we can build integrations so that once you record in Clockify, the transfers of SOS tokens happen directly into your wallets. Not there yet, but equally we may even ditch the Clockify pilot. It's equally possible, and build the functionality within the website. So it's much more easier and you don't have to go through yet another account creation. But if anyone wants to participate in the Clockify pilot, please ping on the help desk channel that has been created, and we'll get you set up. Tati can set your accounts up. He will need your email though, so do DM him. And again, it doesn't have to be that structured. If you prefer keeping it simple, that's absolutely fine. Just drop us a mail, drop me a mail, drop me a DM, and we can work on that basis as well. And shout out loud. This was, Saz, this is coming to your question that you were asking when we started this call. And Tim, your point about using LinkedIn to display the work that you're doing here, and whether there are any concerns around it. Absolutely none. So feel free to, as in smalloutside.com will appear as a list accompanying the list. So when you're doing it, do a search, you'll find it, and the title. And maybe just to make it a little more interactive, Vasiliki has already trailblazed on this one. Vasiliki, do you want to share your experience of what you did on LinkedIn and what kind of titles you had to use?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I mean, I was just wanted to update my LinkedIn because I don't really know how it works. I'm super new to the whole LinkedIn kind of situation. So we just talked about how maybe it's more complicated than just putting a title of the intern. And I just said, like, just mentioned that I'm working at, I don't remember actually. I just didn't use very specified titles like intern. I used part-time, um, very flexible terms, because as far as I've understood, it's more complicated like that. For example, there's no location. So global is more like this, so yeah, I'm not sure if, like, I just put the title that I liked, which was project research, which I thought this is what I'm good at. So it was super flexible. I might change in the end. I don't know. I'm not sure how LinkedIn works that well. So yeah, that was. I mean, I talked to Stash as well about what should I say. Like, yeah, that's it. Super simple. Just like 2 sentences. That's it. Yeah, sorry for that.
Yeah, no, you've done well. Thanks, Vasiliki. But essentially, as in one of the things on the earlier slides, we were saying, do what you enjoy and reflect that in your LinkedIn title. And I'll be more than happy to support it if anyone wants it as a reference or anything. Just choose a title that works for you as well. So I think, Vasiliki, you've put a research analyst, haven't you? Because that's the area that you're going to focus on the activities here. So yeah, take your pick. Whatever works, whatever LinkedIn allows, because there may be restrictions on what things you can put in place or select rather. Does that help answer your question, Sahas?
Of course. I mean, on a high level picture, it does, but
Yeah.
I think I do have a little bit of confusion as to what I can put. So maybe that could be another call, but I think I kind of get the entire idea.
Yeah, let's answer that on this call, because I'm sure
Yeah,
others have exactly the same question. So
sure.
if you, why don't I use Discord at this stage? Hopefully it won't take over the audio there,
Yep.
but let's go here. So in Discord, and it's probably a good segue to actually give you a bit of a overview of how Discord has been organized. So there are three areas here. General, think of it as the more general area. Ventures are very specific activities or projects that we get off the ground. Think of these as startups. Everything's venturized, by the way. It's not even a word. But we have to think in terms of ventures. We can't think in terms of projects, which we do, but they are not self-sustaining financially. So we need to put our business thinking on and say, how do we make these ventures work? So there is a list of things there. We'll zoom in into that. And then, of course, there's file share if you want to pull any documents which have been published before. But coming to the specific question of what are the activities that you would participate, if you look at oh, there we go. Tasks. I couldn't see it. So here's a list, which I think, was it Anjali, you and Tati trailblazed on this one. Thank you for that. And they've gone nicely added their thumbs up over there, which kind of starts indicating that that's the area they want to work on. I know, Tim, you've, I think, clicked on this one, haven't you? Yeah, collaborations. But there are different areas here, right? From system administration to website content to research to brainstorming, whatever is. And this list will keep growing, of course. So express your interest, and I think that will also help you define your role. Like I say, it's a flat structure. You are the boss and you are the person who's doing their work. So if you think, oh, recruiting and onboarding is what you want to specialize in, call yourself a recruiter. Absolutely fine. Does that make sense, Saz?
Completely. So I can call myself a venture builder, yeah?
Yeah, you can call yourself a venture builder, because that's essentially what we are doing as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, given your
Fantastic.
interest in startups and all, absolutely, yes. And
Awesome.
feel free to use Trailblazer. I think Anusha went in yesterday and she put Trailblazer think tank member, which somehow she was allowed to do, I guess, by LinkedIn. So feel free to do that as well, whatever works for you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any questions on that?
Can I ask something?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just raised my hand, but it doesn't really work. So I wanted to ask if we have like any idea, do
Yeah.
we talk, for example, I have this idea and I would really like to, if anybody wants to also work on it, do I
Yeah.
say to you first and then we create
No,
a
it's super
page, a
flat.
sub page, or no? How does it work?
No, you are the boss. So you go in.
Ah,
Why don't we go to that actually? So this is a good segue into the ventures. Like I was saying, everything has to be venturized. Uh, and what that means, and we will touch upon business model canvas and things like that as well in one of the sessions. There is Venture Factory, which is where maybe assuming some existing knowledge here. The way, okay, I'm going to go into something else and then come back here. So if you see this hash symbol, that's a channel, which means whatever you talk, it just happens as one big thread, right, of conversations. Updates are obviously just updates. But if you see this chat symbol, then that's a forum. And forums have topics. So each of these are topics within a forum, right? And those in turn have conversations. I think it's important to understand how it is structured. So in channels like Smalltalk, if there's a hash symbol, there is conversation. And in forums, there are conversations within conversations, if that makes sense. So what we've done is we've created an area called Ventures Factory. And these are some of the ideas that have been discussed in the past. There is the way to do it. And if we were to do this now is really you put a title, whatever your title is, a brief description, as in it doesn't have to be very long, or ideally should not be very long, although that is very long, but something ideally short would be good, which simply says this is what the idea is, as in it just needs to capture the essence of the idea. It doesn't have to be War and Peace. It literally is the essence. And then you start writing your thoughts in a little more detail over there, and then others can contribute and help you build that idea. And once it reaches a certain maturity where we say, oh, look, it seems to have a good maturity now, all the different aspects of business modeling are also hanging well together, then it comes out of the factory and it becomes a channel in its own right. So if we look at Write Piper, it's an example because that was one of our pilot projects, and we will progress this. It's got a pinned item on the top, so someone coming in can get a view of what Write Piper is. It gets a bit more verbose because it has been matured. For a new idea, you wouldn't have that level of maturity in thoughts. But here you can go into a level of detail and explain in very specific terms what you're trying to do. And then as and when updates happen, so we released the first version on Apple and Google. So the links are there, and then as we progress, the updates will keep coming there. So anyone who's interested, I think you can hit a follow. Yeah, there you go. You can hit a follow button. If you like the idea, just hit the follow button. And what it does is you will get this little thing here, if you see that. So if you unfollow it, it goes away. So it makes your workspace a little more meaningful to you. But coming back to your very specific question, just go in and add that information there. And hopefully we'll all start looking at it more regularly. But initially, just maybe drop a line on the Smalltalk area. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So if you see there are visual cues used in certain places, so things like collaborations, sorry, not there, Spadework doesn't have any visual cues because it's not like a branded thing kind of thing, if that makes sense. So it's good to have a visual cue. That's the bit which, unless you are very comfortable with graphics and all, just reach out to me and I'll create something and ping it to you, because that you have to upload when you create. You can't do it later. So when you do this, that's the way to do it. So you click that and then you get your graphics over there. Yeah. And if anyone wants to know how to create those graphics, I'm more than happy to show you how. It's very, very easy. Yep. Any questions, guys? And Vasiliki, you especially, given you asked the question.
No, it was very clear. Thank you so much. I'll try to think, because I have an initial idea, but I have to develop it a bit more. So I'll just start experimenting with how it works, the ventures kind of category. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. And no idea is a bad idea, by the way. We don't have devil's advocates here. So in fact, we actively slay them if we find devil's advocates. So any idea is a good idea. And let me tell you a short story. So yesterday we had the Young Rockets was born yesterday. Matt Addis, he pinged me a question. He said, look, my daughter's doing this 3D printing keychains or 3D printed keychains, which she is raising funds for people in Ukraine. And he said, is that a venture? I said, that doesn't sound like a small outside venture. It certainly sounds like a good idea. But for it to become a venture, how about actually there's an inspiration there, because these youth of today, or even the younger generation, a lot of youth on this call, but people between 10 and 16 can run their own, these are budding entrepreneurs, so they can run their own little business ideas, and they can be nurtured into thinking of sustainability and baking into their idea. And it was a great conversation, and we just shaped it into this, and it's now become an idea here. Now, whether we go ahead with it or not is a very different question, but it really depends on how mature the idea is, and every idea that matures well, we will take it forward. Yeah. In fact, Balaji was talking, we had a very similar chat last week with Balaji, where he was saying, can we capture kinetic energy? And that led to energy positive gym. And you can see a lot of good conversation there that's already starting to happen. And likewise with self-sustaining living spaces. So yeah, rope people into your ideas. Right. Any more on that one? No? So step into your big, and I think we covered it, really, which is we are all big inside, and that's where the name comes from, by the way, small outside. So any idea, any view, any viewpoint, any question, all of those are absolutely valid. Just know that you got it. And don't hesitate. We all get it wrong, and we've got it wrong so many times. I would just encourage you to fail and learn from it, because that's the way we learn how to do things better. So please don't hesitate in any forums. Just get chatty, do what is right for you, do what makes sense, and let's make it work. Okay. The last one, of course, is have a safe trip back to 2022. But before we go, what I want to do is, how are we doing on time? Okay, we've got 4 minutes. Would anyone benefit from further walkthroughs on this? Maybe actually the onboarding part may be useful. Has anyone been to the onboarding area and all these different things?
Yep.
Yeah. As in, it's not just for me to put, because a lot of it I was moving away from Slack and putting it here. But if you think, you know what, I found a link which was not mentioned somewhere, put it there. As in, this is for people who are joining, as in quite a few people had actually accepted, but for some reason they've not turned up. So I'll be running more sessions, but there are more people joining as well. And it will just help them come up to speed very quickly. This part we will build out a bit more. If you share a video of your recording of creating the wallet, we will upload it here so people know how to do it. Clockify has been mentioned here, so it's there. And then there is some tips and guidance on how to use Discord. So if you discover a new trick, just stick it there. As in last week, earlier this week, I couldn't figure out how to put links, and that led to a little bit of Google search, and that brought the information that I needed, and I've shared it here. So it may be a useful thing to actually show you, because there is a trick to it. So give me 2 seconds. If you go to your profile and click this user settings, if you go to advanced and turn on developer mode, this one, what you also get is when you right click, you get this copy ID. That's a very, very nifty way of creating links very quickly. So just to show you, there are certain things, as in, of course, you can use the hash like this, and that will bring up things. But this is at a channel level, so it's at that level. So now let's say if you wanted to put something for young rockets, you would go to young rockets, which will not appear in that list, by the way. You would copy it, copy the ID, and I'm just going to go to onboarding. I'm going to just stick it here. All you do is angle bracket, hash, the number as it shows above, but the ID that you've copied, and there you go. It creates a link with the description and everything. If that ever changes, it changes here as well. So it's a good way to get people linking, because this will get noisy after some time, and people, if you can help other collaborators just find their way, that will be very good. It doesn't work at the message level. So this is what this says. That way to do that bit is very simply, let's say if I wanted to link to this message, because this is the smallest unit, then all I would do is go there and say copy message link. And that is a very ugly looking URL, but it does the wonders that we need it to do. So that will bring, if I click that, if I was to post it and click it, it will bring straight over there. So it's just brought me directly to that particular thing. Does that help, guys? As in, I thought this was very painful when I started using Discord. And it works on messages, by the way, because the way Discord is organized, each of your accounts is independent of this small outside workspace. So when you send direct messages, those direct messages don't have knowledge of the workspace you're talking about. So at that place, you will have to use the, if I was wanting to point out to someone, then I would simply use the same technique or this technique.
So simply tagging won't work, is it? If you press the add symbol and then wait for the drop down.
If I go to, let's say, Molly, right? So now she will probably get surprised with the vague messages that will go to her. But if I was to do hash here, if you see, it's not pulled up anything, because this is not in the context of small outside. It looks like it is within small outside, but your account is independent of small outside. So, but you've added yourself. So what you would have to do is, if I wanted to do exactly what I was trying to do earlier, which is, let's say, link to Vox Populi, or is that how it's pronounced? Vo Populi maybe, but there you go. So I would copy the ID, I would go back to Molly's message, and I would say option hash, come on, V. There you go. So that has pulled the context in. All those IDs are linked to the context, which is the small outside context. So it will create the links for you. But in direct messages, it is either that or you copy a message link and send it. So same principle here, copy message, go to Molly and paste, and that will bring her directly to, let's confuse her a bit. So if she clicks there, it will come straight to the message. So yeah, you don't need to spend time describing a message that's already there. You can be a lot more efficient there.
Yeah, thank you.
It is a very powerful tool. The learning curves are not massive, and Slack was really bad, frankly. And if you want to see who are the members, as in if you see over here, it says there's only one member. That's because I'm in an area. So I'm in the Discord area. If you want to see all the members, then that's here. So if you go to small talk, everyone's listed here. Anyone who's green is a Circle One member. So as you're aware, we were running Circle One meetups for last year. And there are people who are still wanting to stay connected, as in it's served its purpose. Some of them have actually become Trailblazers now. And they are blue because Trailblazer is the next generation, if you like. So they will appear in blue, like Dinesh is both a Trailblazer and Circle one. So is Balaji. So is right. We don't have the other. Oh, Sachin is there as well. But blue equals Trailblazer, and you can send messages directly to all Trailblazers from anywhere. Sorry. If you do that and do Trailblazers, so this is a wildcard which will send it to the entire group. If you want to send anything to the administrators, if you're struggling, if you're not seeing certain rights, sorry, administrators, maybe the administrators, there you go. So these will be group messages which will broadcast. At the moment, Tati and me, we are doing the administration work, but there will be others who may volunteer, and it will go to them and somebody will come to your rescue. And of course, if you get stuck anywhere, then just reach out. Yeah.
Dinesh here. I need to rush. I'll catch up with the rest over the recording.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks. Thanks, Dinesh.
Thank you.
We are over.
Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dinesh. Thank you.
Bye.
So I'm going to go off screen share now because this was really the kickstart or the conversations. How have you found it? As in, keep the feedback honest, keep it open. We may have got things wrong, and we just need to make sure we're doing the right things. Did it help?
Yeah, hi, it's Tim. I thought it was useful. I've not used Discord before, but it's one of those that once you get into it and start doing more stuff, I think it will become more prevalent. I did have a question actually about Lobster Wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I've signed up and downloaded the app for Lobster. Do I have to connect it anywhere on Discord?
No. So Lobster is independent, but what you will, I guess, because mine I created a long time back, I can't remember the steps, but I think it will take you through create your wallet steps. I think it's probably done that. So once you've done that, your wallet is not activated. So it's there, but what you need to do is buy some crypto tokens to automate, enable it. You don't have to do that. You just send me the public key and I will transfer some tokens so that you can start receiving the SOS tokens. So that Lobster happens in, actually, you know what, it may be on their website, but it was pretty easy. And if Anusha could do it, who's completely non-geeky, I think it should be straightforward. But once you send me the public key, I'll put some tokens into, put some XLMs, they are called. They are the Lumen tokens, which is something you have to buy, but you can't buy in small quantities. So to keep it simple, I'll transfer it into your wallets. That will activate your wallet. The next thing after that is for you to go in and it will say add a set or something like that. I think it may be add a set is probably the word. And then you just search up SOS. There are some copy tokens of SOS now. So just make sure that it is, I think it probably has a link of, actually, let me share my screen again. I'll show you something. So when you go into there, is what SOS looks like. I know it's getting geeky, guys, but it is what it is, I guess. SOS, as in the icons and all, need to be updated. But if you see SOS there, it's got PSOS at the end. That is the correct SOS. If you were to just look for SOS, I think you end up with, look, there's one copy, there's another copy, there's another copy, there's another copy. So just make sure that it is the one which has SOS at the end. In the asset information, I think on the phone, it will give you smalloutside.com as well. And it certainly gives it here somewhere in the information, payments, trades. Now I have to go somewhere else to see it actually there, I think. But these are all the transactions, and I'm happy to walk you guys through on how to read it. So yesterday's transaction was, there you go. So that's what you will see. This was the one that was transferred to Anusha, who created her wallet. So that's a public key. If you decide, oh, you know what, Anusha, you helped me so much, I want to transfer some SOS tokens, you can do that from your thing, and you can just ask her for a public key and then just do the transfer. So you can do transfers internally as well. That's the XLM token, which I was referring to. So those are tokens that I'll deposit into your account. And then we'll also send you some welcome tokens. Actually, I completely forgot to cover one specific point on when we were covering Mural, is on the wallet. So the way the tokens will be allocated is 1 token per minute of participation. So it keeps it super simple. When you say I did 1 hour of contribution and participation, that will straight away mean 60 tokens. And whatever, if you think, oh, I just did 1 minute, that's fine. You'll get 1 token. You just mean admin overhead, but there you go. Yeah. Stop presenting again. And
Sorry, Dash. Sorry to interrupt. I have to drop off now. Need to drop the family somewhere.
yeah,
So I'll catch up with you guys later on. Nice
Yeah.
talking to everyone new and old.
yeah.
We'll catch up.
Thanks, Balaji. Have a good evening or good day even.
Thank you. Thank you. You all
Okay.
do the same.
Take care.
Bye.
The only question I was expecting and no one's asked, so I'm going to ask the question and answer it as well, is what do I start on now? Right. So have a look at the tasks area and see, and maybe start by hitting a thumbs up on the ones that you want to focus on. The tasks are not listed. It is something which we create. So Tom Smith, who wasn't able to make today, anyways, he had other things. He was asking me, can I get started with research? Because he's interested in research. So I said, yeah, please do. And he went into the research area. In fact, oh, you know what, I should have stayed on the sharing. There you go. So in Discord, you will see there is tasks and there is collaborations. So sorry, research, isn't it? So Tom's gone there and said he wants to do, and Anjali, you have as well, haven't you? So you've got interest in research. Research, you can start doing things, but of course there's a list written under spade work, because research is essentially spade work, and it's going to be a long list initially. So if you click there, there are collaborations that we need to find. So who are the organizations that we can start collaborating with? Anything that you come up, just drop in there, and it becomes a long list for whoever is researching, and say, okay, let me just find out what kite mill is all about and whether there's a good alignment or not. But you just take it from there. Understanding sustainability is an important thing. That's a research topic itself. It's as wide as it is deep. So if that's what you want to focus on, do so. If you want to focus on grants and investments, do so. Again, I'll start dropping things as I come across, but I welcome everyone else to do the same. And we will build a list that the people who are interested in researching can pick up. Yeah.
That's it.
So I know I'm going to stop presenting again because I can see you then and talk to you, but we may have to show again. Is there anything else? I think we'll probably want to do a bit of a run on Discord, because jumping back to Teams, and especially if I'm not there and you don't have a Teams account, and all those things happen. We tried it last week and it seemed to work beautifully. So if some of you want to stay back and just give it another kick and see if we can make it work.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, I think better Dash.
Yeah, sounds good. So oh, look, some people have already escaped to Discord, looks like. So let's end it here, and we go to Discord and hopefully talk.
Sure.
Cheers.